Hey Great Dramas, Greg Dillon here, hoping you're all doing well. I'm going to go through a cheeky little distillery exclusive 12-year-old Bushmills Irish whiskey with you today. Bushmills is actually the very first distillery I ever went to. Absolutely loved it to bits, had a great time. And it kind of piqued that interest early doors as to what is whiskey and what is the reason for it. Went when I was 18, so relatively swift to it. I just had an absolute belter. The distillery itself really quaint, really old school, gorgeous warehousing, nicely laid out distillery experience. I mean, this is 18 years ago, and I went back, I think 4 years ago, and did the same tour, and it hadn't changed. But it hadn't changed in a good way, because I actually got it right the first time. Even down to the glass steps as you walk through the first stage of production, with the underlit Bushmills logo mark. I'll never forget that. That's the first thing I remember from being in that distillery way back when, and it was still there a couple of years ago. And when I was there more recently, it's actually for a friend's wedding, which is nearby. And my wife and I, Kirsty, we popped into Bushmills, did the tour. She was driving. Ouch. So I got to do 2 lots of tasting in their very, very special VIP tasting room, which was amazing. Like single cask Bushmills, their whole range up to stuff that isn't even released. Really good fun. And amazing hosts as well. And this was just before Diageo sold them. And I think they're doing even more interesting things now, because they also have like an Acacia Wood 16-year-old limited edition at the distillery only. They also have a revamped 16 and 21-year-old core release. Their 10-year-old is still as beautiful as ever. So a really cool Irish whiskey brand. I think it's overlooked, especially considering it's over 400 years old. It's actually 412 years old this year. So a real kind of old school heritage Irish whiskey brand that does deserve more respect than it gets, frankly. So this is the 12-year-old distillery exclusive from when I was there. Actually even got the personalised label to celebrate the first visit of GreatDrams.com to Bushmills. Marvellous. So that's the label, just so you can all see it. And so distill for a minimum of 12 years, which probably means it's matured for 12 years in a couple of days in reality. But I remember this being the absolute best whiskey I'd ever tried back in whenever it was I was 18, and it always stuck with me. And I bought a couple at auction, and they still were amazing. And then picked this one up, and I think it was about 70 quid or something. And I remember just falling in love all over again. Oh, no, so fruity, so tropical, pineapples. That just incredible. That lovely tropical fruit note really dancing around. Underpinned by almost a tea-like note there as well, though. Like loose leaf tea, maybe a Darjeeling tea coming through. There's a subtle, like the most subtle hint of spice just emanating from it. That's vanilla. There's a tobacco note as well, maybe linked to that tea note that I was talking about. On the palate, it is all candied and syrupy pineapples for me. Appley notes. Like some kind of peach note coming through as well. Starting to sing them. And that peach, it's like the peach, canned peaches in the syrup. Whoa, indulgent 80s kind of war food. Probably relevant at a time like this. Am I allowed to say that? Not so sure. But really kind of vibrant and alive on the palate. Something that's just will always take me back to that moment that I was at that distillery years and years ago. On the next nose, there is actually almost a meaty character to it, like a bacony, barbecuey note coming through now. But all the while, it's those tropics, those peaches, that gorgeous vanilla oakiness as well. That's absolutely superb. Really kind of short, maybe short to medium finish, but it doesn't matter. This is a phenomenal whiskey which will have you going back time and time and time and time again. An absolute stunner. And Bushmills never change. You clearly haven't for as long as I've been of legal drinking age, and please never ever ever change. Cheers, and until next time.